Welcome back to this week's episode of the Corde Snell Show. I'm the guy. We're here, a little different, alternate space right now. We're doing it back to like episode 1 or one of your episodes on the Jared podcast.
It was the first time you were on Camacho Cast.
First time I was on Camacho Cast. Yeah, we got a different setup this week. We're doing things a little differently because this might be the farewell. So long for Jared being the main producer of the show.
Yeah, I put out an ad.
Yeah.
Who wants to take my job? Because I won't be able to produce the show moving forward.
Yeah.
But it's a good show. It should keep going. It shouldn't stop because of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what's funny though is we only really did this because of Noah.
Yeah.
Who's not even here.
Not even here. Exactly. So what we're saying is that we started a little bit later because our friend Noah, he's a big boy now. He's now 20. He has a job, and then we're trying to be accommodating to his job and wanted to make sure that he's here. And he's not even here because he's sick and tired of his job. That's what we think it is. Need a nap.
I think what I appreciated though was he said he'd be ready by 1:30, and he let us know he wasn't going to be here at 1:35.
Exactly. There we go. Exactly.
That was very kind of him.
Very kind. Very kind of him indeed. So yeah, man. And it's funny thing about this too, because when we started this podcast, we already had the idea that I was probably gonna leave in about a year to LA, and he was like, "Well, let's get this thing started, and then you'll find another producer when you get down there." And you're leaving before I leave. Ain't that something?
Yeah, but this year did not go how I anticipated.
Okay. What was your ideas for this year?
Well, I overloaded myself with live shows that I was like running like mics and stuff.
Yeah.
So I've been pulling back from those. Just without getting into it too much, like people's health and my family deteriorated a lot faster than I anticipated, and I need to be available for them.
Okay.
So, I basically cut off everything that was, in my opinion, like non-essential.
Yeah.
I have a few things that are going on comedy-wise that are paying me, so those are the only things that are staying on the thing. But, no, it wasn't something I was excited to do. It was one of those you have to look at it and go, this is probably the right move.
Yeah.
So, I mean, unfortunately, we both been to funerals this week.
Yeah. Well, no, mine's mine's coming up. Mine's coming up. So yeah, it's definitely. But I've been in funerals beforehand. You've gotten bad news. I've gotten bad news recently, and it sucks. It's like a gut punch to the system, because like I found out a few weeks ago that my sister passed at like 10:30. Like she passed 5:30 that morning. I didn't find out till 10:30 that night, and I was like super sad, like super like tearing up and whatever. And then the next day I had to just go to work because I knew if I needed to take days off, I would have to take it for the funeral and probably a few additional days after that. So I haven't even had real time to grieve here and there. So like, and then I was finally getting like over like the fact that like she had passed, and then got the information that her funeral's upcoming, and all those same emotions came back. And it's just like, yeah, it sucks, man. It really sucks, dude. Like death is terrible. Like death is terrible and leaves you grief stricken. But then, like, I don't know if you ever thought about this. Like, you ever thought like, dang, like, should I join them? Like, maybe like just like a quick millisecond of it. But then I'm like, no, because I still have people who I need to be here for. I still want to do stuff, all right? And then after that, I'm just like, life is still gonna go on regardless. And that's the sad thing, and that's the worst thing about it sometimes, you know?
Yeah, I used to be really afraid of dying, and like when I was younger, I don't think I saw a lot of death. Like all my family members are passing away now.
Yeah.
A lot of people in my family had kids really young, so they lived for quite a long time. But I've told you about this like off the pod, but you know I've taken like 6 grams of mushrooms before, which felt like dying, and I tell people what was so crazy about that trip was like, I feel like I went to what people call heaven. I went to this place. I didn't have a body anymore. I was like this like energy thing. And it felt really good. It felt like I had been there for forever, which is the weird thing, because you're like, what my eyes was, well, I didn't have eyes, but you know, like I was like, I don't know what
you
this
were seeing
is.
through.
Yeah, I feel like I've been here, and I feel like I'm gonna come back here. And then whatever that thing, God, whatever you want to call it, like it started, something could communicate with me, and it was like, you're supposed to go home right now.
Yeah,
and I was like, I don't want to. I'm like, this feels amazing. I don't want to. Like, this is incredible. He goes, yeah. And basically it was like, you're not dead yet. And then I woke up on my kitchen floor. But ever since that time, I like to think that when people pass, they're at that place. And I'm like, that place is dope.
Yeah.
It's a great, like, we all want to go there.
I remember my grandma shared, because my grandma had like a severe cardiac arrest, and I think she was like gone for like, I think flatline for like a minute or two.
Yeah.
And she talks about that, like that it was so heavenly, so peaceful, so like warm, that she was like, God, I don't want to go. Just like, it's not your time, and sent her back. And then like, so she always shares that at every single funeral, which is sad, because it's like I don't want to hear about this, right? But then, so like, I remember, so I had like a kind of a moment like that too. Like, I was 19, I was in and out of hospital for like, I think like 3 months, and I had like an experience like that, where it was like I was up, and they say like that light, stay away from the light, because I was like in a light area, and I remember I felt so warm, and it was so good, like, and I just felt, and then I heard like, and I was just like there, calm, chilling, like relaxing, and I was like, oh, this is so amazing. And I heard a voice, and then all of a sudden it was like I got from where I got pulled from out of there and came all the way back down into my body, and I just see everyone around me crying because I'm in a hospital bed. And I was like, oh, what was that? What? Oh, was that? And then, so like, a lot of times I don't share this with people, but in my mindset, I always be like, I'm on borrowed time, because I felt that moment there, and like, I'm on borrowed time since then, and I'm just trying to make the most out of it sometimes. You know? Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Can I ask what happened that put you in the hospital bed?
Oh, so like, I had a seizure or something like that, or like, but they didn't know what was going on. So I had like to go like to a ton of different tests. Like, I remember it was like one day I was overwhelmed, I was stressed. This is why sometimes like if you don't see me for a few weeks at like Mike's or whatever, I hit nothing up, because I'm trying to have to kind of maintain my stress level. And that comes with sleep too. Like, lack of sleep makes my anxiety, stuff like that. So one day I was supposed to go to work. I was supposed to be there at 3:30. I remember it was like 3:30 or 4, and I remember it was 3:21. And instead of getting up and going to work, I just lied down on the floor. And then when I woke up, like, I couldn't move. And then from there, like, it was later, parents found me, rushed to the hospital because I wasn't moving. I was unresponsive. So then, like, I didn't move for like, I think like 9 hours or something like that. Oof. And then they were saying that we don't know what it is. We think he might be bleeding internally, like in his head. So then my sister's texting people that I might be like, it's bad, you know, it's not looking good. And then they said like, you're doing it to yourself. It's like a mental thing. You're like, I was like, what? I was like, it, like, well, I eventually came out of it. It took like 12 hours for me to eventually like be able to say something. And then so from there I kept testing, and then it was like, oh, he has epilepsy.
Oh, okay.
Right. And then kind of find out it wasn't epilepsy. They start calling it pseudo seizures, because my brain waves wasn't the exact same thing. But then also pseudo seizures is not accurate either, because when you say pseudo seizures, people, or especially like doctors and nurses, think it's like fake seizures. You're doing it to get attention. So that's actually wrong. It's actually called a conversion disorder, where it's still like not like really known what it is. It kind of looks like seizures, but it isn't. So I don't have to take medicine for it and things like that. But it's like I have to manage like my stress. I have to manage my sleep. And something I have to actively be doing and conscious of. Because if I don't, I can get like slip back in and like have like a seizure like thing or whatever. So because of that, that like all happened. Like, I think it happened like February 7, 2009. And they said this was last like 3 to 5 years. I wouldn't be able to play football again. I eventually did. But I remember they gave me all this medicine to put a ton of weight on me, like 40 to 50 pounds. And then that's why I'm big to this day, because I was never able to drop that weight like fully off. Because I remember I was like I always lie. I always say I was 230. I was actually 250, but I was kind of like bulking season. You know how like you just been lifting a lot.
Yeah.
And then I was about to start cutting and probably drop 40 pounds, and I gained really 25 pounds in a month. Like, I remember went in the hospital February 7th or February 9th. And then it was March 25th. Like, I was 276. Wow. And I think I went in at like 249. Damn. So I gained, so like, I remember my back was killing me. My ankles was killing me. And then like, they told me, you got to get off the diet you're on. You can't lift weights. And then by the time they finally cleared me to just pursue regular stuff, I was like 315 in September of that year. So from 250 but like yoked and like hey, you got to start losing weight, you got to start bulking as much, like basically creatine and protein.
Yeah,
get off all that to 315 that fall, and I just like never recognized myself. And I remember at the time I was only fit 4 pair of jeans.
Fuck.
And it was trash. It was trash.
I've never taken creatine. Does that? I know it helps like basically keep your muscles hydrated so you can work out longer.
No, it does. It does do that.
Is that what it does?
No, so, my bad. It inflates them. It inflates them to give you like a like puffy like feeling like this.
Okay.
But you have to drink water to keep them hydrated, stuff like that, because it makes you super dehydrated.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So I remember I had a heat stroke one time because I was drinking creatine. I wasn't drinking. I had no electrolytes. So the creatine actually like depleted like a lot of my water in my system, and then I'm like running like 95-degree weather, and I had no electrolytes. So I just like kind of sweated it all out, and it was like a hell day too. Like we got in trouble, so our coach made us do hella stupid stuff.
Does it feel like when you take it? Do you feel any like psychotropic effects? Do you feel like jacked up or?
I feel bigger, and you do feel stronger over time. So the trick with creatine is like you can put on weight fast.
Okay.
Like you'll put on like I remember I think I put on like 10 to 15 pounds like by the end of the month or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But it's the trick with creatine, what most people don't know is like when you're taking it, you're supposed to do cardio as well. And that's something I wasn't doing because I was like super tired. So I remember my trainer at the time, he was like, when you take this, do an hour cardio too. He's like, because we don't want you to balloon up too fast.
Oh, I see.
And I remember I was like 240 or 235 area, and I was taking creatine, and then like towards the end of like spring ball, I was like 260. I remember my back was hurting, and I remember I just had like, I was like, oh, my back hurt. And it was like, yeah, man, you kind of big. And I was like, I'm not that big, and I weighed myself. I was like 260, 261. I was like, oh, shit. And I was like, oh, it's that damn creatine. And I had taken it for like 4 months. So like probably gained like 10 to 15 pounds like each month or whatever, or like 10 to 5 every, So by the time April came, I had gained, I was like 260. But then at the end of April, I stopped taking it. And then like May came, and then I was back down to like 245 because and then so what it does is it makes you get bigger. Sorry, I'm like, I was thirsty.
Do you want water?
Yeah.
Okay, you keep talking on.
Okay, what it does is sometimes it makes you like stronger, but makes you bigger at the same time. And then over the course of the month, you're supposed to if you keep working out every single day, you can maintain that same strength, and that muscle will or the bigness that you gain, you can eventually turn that into muscle if you're like doing a lot of cardio, if you're lifting and stuff like that. And it's a keep cycle that does that. Like it makes you kind of bigger. You can turn that into muscle quicker, makes you stronger quicker and stuff like that. And then if you burn a lot of cardio and stuff like that, now that's like more muscle, and you can stay at that same strength. So that's what creatine does for you.
I know you're drinking, so I won't make you answer right away, but is it something that you're supposed to take every time you work out, or is it just like in the morning you take it?
I used to take it every time I worked out.
Got it. Yeah.
So sometimes,
it's like a powder?
Yeah, it's powder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so yeah.
Does it have any taste to it?
The one I had, no, because I was a linebacker and I wasn't trying to get too big. It was like there was ones that have like different flavor stuff, but you're adding sugar to it.
Oh,
and it was kind of like, this is going to put weight on you already. Yeah. You don't need to add the sugar-based one too, because then you're going to put on extra more weight. So, so hey, you're going to put 3 to 5 pounds on a week. But with the extra sugar, you might put on 4 to 6. And that starts to add up like over weeks. So like 4 to 7. So now you like, instead of like me being 260, I probably could have been like 280 or something like that. And then it would have been a lot harder, and I probably would have got pushed to like center O line faster. Because it was funny, because I remember the moment I stopped taking creatine and I had stopped drinking Gatorade at one point, the weight just
yeah, people don't realize how many calories in. So like my family, for some reason, my parents always drank Diet Coke my entire life.
Yeah.
I didn't have regular Coke until I was an adult.
Yeah.
And so I look at how many calories are in regular Coke, and it's like, for like, I was just at McDonald's because one right by my house.
Yeah.
350 calories in like a large soda.
Yum.
Which is, yeah, but it's also just crazy. Like the idea of drinking calories seems so weird.
Yeah.
But like if you're doing that 2-3 times a day, of course.
Yeah.
And as bad as Diet Coke is for you, it has 0 calories.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what that's like to like have to worry about what I was drinking.
Yeah.
Because I was usually drinking water or Diet Coke if that's what I had. But yeah, dude, the amount of calories that are hidden in sodas and sugar has so many calories, it's insane.
Or juices, like, so that's the other thing too. Like, I remember in my school, in high school, we're gonna get rid of all sodas because sodas are bad for you, and then brought in all the most sugary juices, and it was just like, I was like, hey, I don't know if this really fixing anything, and it was like, because it's like the snack bar line, we want to be more healthy, and then it was like, well, this juices have the same amount, and I'm like, I don't know, I guess they don't want us drinking carbonated stuff, because because it's before now, like a lot of students drink, high school students especially drink Starbucks. Back then, it was frowned upon to get your student Starbucks, so then they was also trying to curve out caffeinated drinks too that had sugar in it as well, because you don't want these students to have too much caffeine. Too much caffeine will come and crash by the end of the day. So I think that's what they was trying to prevent. Like, especially after like lunch, like you're getting full, and then you got caffeine, so you're gonna be up for like 30, but you'll be out for like another hour. So yeah, it was definitely a weird mixture.
I'm trying to look up how many calories are in like one of those fraps.
Yeah,
because I have never had one of those, but I bet you, I'm gonna guess it's probably like 800 with that.
Oh, dude, mine is some of the most calories ever, because I get a caramel frappe, venti, no whipped cream because I'm lactose, with almond milk, and then we get extra caramel in the cup. And if there's not extra caramel in the cup, I'm gonna ask them, can you do it again? Because that extra caramel to add something to it. Because without the extra caramel in the cup, it just ain't the same, yo. Ain't the same.
You know, actually, it's actually not bad. I'm looking at this. It says a caramel frappuccino blended, grande size, so 16 fluid ounces.
Yeah,
380 calories.
All right, look at that with that venti though. With that venti, dude.
Yeah, let me see if I can. How do I adjust it to the venti? Let's see. I probably 540. Then.
Yeah, I probably 540.
Yeah, because another 4 ounces.
Yeah. So I definitely know that I used to start counting calories or looking at certain calories at Jack in the Box, and used to be wondering why my stomach used to hurt after eating it. And I'd be like, God damn. Because I remember I would get the ultimate cheeseburger with bacon with no cheese, right?
Yeah.
And then I would get the curly fries. So the curly fries was actually more fattening than the regular fries. And then sometimes I would substitute the regular drink for ice cream, for a milkshake, or Oreo milkshake.
Oh, dude,
that was like 2,200 calories.
There's no way.
And I was like, why do I feel so bad after? Like, my stomach hurts after this. And I was like, oh, because I'm eating a day's worth of food
in one sitting.
And I was like, okay, yeah. So then what I started doing, I was like, I'm gonna just get the milkshake, and that was still like 1,000 calories. Yeah. And I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna pick and choose my battles, because I was like, I'm gonna just get the milkshake because that's something that I want. But I don't need the rest of the stuff. So I'm like, all right. And also the milkshake was only like $3.50, and sometimes being broke in college, that's all you got. The ultimate cheeseburger was like $5.29.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let me get this milkshake.
Yep. But like too, when you're younger, like, man, I feel like the calorie, like you're able to burn off like half the calories. Yeah. Like, I don't know, because once I hit 30, all of a sudden that's when I really had to start looking at that stuff. Yeah. But yeah, when you're a kid, you eat probably 3,000 calories and you don't give a shit.
I used to, I remember, especially in high school, I remember me and my cousin, I used to eat twice. I used to come home and eat, and then I would eat dinner. And then my mom would be like, why y'all eating so much? My dad would be like, they growing boys.
Yeah.
But she didn't know, like she was come home, and one time I forgot my shirt that I would change it to, because I remember I had like shirt from practice. And then she saw how sweaty that thing was. And it was like all top down to like probably just a little bit right here that wasn't sweat. And she's like, oh my God, I didn't know you'd be. I was like, I'll be out there sweating.
Well, in football practice, like 4 hours long.
Yeah.
Like a regular workout, if you're like really kicking ass,
hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, if you're doing just 1 hour, a regular 1 hour workout, probably burns anywhere between like 500, 600 calories if you're really working.
Yeah.
So you're going to burn almost what? 2,400?
Yeah.
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 So
crazy. And then it made sense why, like, after people retire, they get like fat immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Because you still eating like you playing. Mm-hmm. But you ain't burning as much. Like, I still remember one time our coaches decided we're going to starting practice at 4, and we're going to start practice at 3, because it's too much time between 2 p.m. and 4 for people who get out of school at 2. Because some people will go home, then they'll be late for practice. Like, it don't make sense. And they didn't want to stay at the school all day because they said, like, it's too long or yada, yada, yada. So then we started practice at 3. And then other people who got out at 3:45, they'll be like, yo, so just try to get here as soon as possible. So sometimes, a lot of times, people be behind and try to come in. And so I'm practicing from 3 to 6:30. Just a lot. And my mom was like, Mom, I need Gatorade. My mom was like, oh, she'll buy me 1 or 2. I said, Mom, I need some more Gatorade. I said, why you always need Gatorade? I was like, Mom, practice started at 3. It's like, I come get you at 6:45. What you mean? I was like, yeah. It ended at 6:30.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Y'all practicing that long? I was like, yeah. So then she like bought like a whole pantry full of Gatorade. I got you all these different flavors. I was like, I don't even like this one, but I was like, I don't care. I got it for the then.
I only liked like the orange flavor.
Nah, you crazy.
That was the only one I liked.
You crazy. I
didn't even like the red one.
I eventually liked the orange flavor, but I hated the orange and the like lime because those are like the
lime
two.
Is bad.
Those like the two basic ones. I love the red. I love the blue. Then I started getting Pacific. Like I liked it, the dark blue that looked at purple. Then it was like the blue, the light blue because it was Frost.
I can do the light blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was like, when I was a kid, the one bad thing the one juice I drank was Sunny D.
Yeah.
I love the shit out of that for some reason.
Yeah.
And like the orange one was the closest to that for me.
Okay.
But then, yeah, like the regular red one, I tried it once. I was like, this tastes like cough medicine. I don't want this.
Okay.
But the Frost one, I could do that one.
Frost was always good. I think the Frost was like the first, like, we're trying something different here.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to make this taste good instead of just like, oh, this is, because I think Gatorade early on was just like, hey, this is for athletes to drink as just a
It was
thing.
a supplement, not like a sport, like not something to drink for fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, this is only when you're doing sports activities.
Yeah.
This is why you drink this. Instead of thinking like, oh, people like to drink this when it's hot. People like to drink this like normally. If we style this up more, people will drink it and stuff like that. If we add more flavors, oh my God, it's going to start drawing more attention. Yeah. And it was like, if we add a little sugar, kids will like it too. And they'll like get they'll tell their parents, you need to buy this as well. You know, so.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Because real Gatorade too, they water it down, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember when the first time I drank Gatorade, I remember it was so gross because I was drinking in Louisiana, but
it was real Gatorade.
It was real Gatorade because it was only like water and electrolytes.
Yeah.
And it was like super cold. And then I was drinking and I was like, oh, this has like no flavor to it. But then I wouldn't be tired when I go outside in Louisiana heat when it was like 102.
Yeah.
Like I was like, this water ain't helping. It was like, well, drink your Gatorade. And I was like, I don't like this. And then I would drink it. And I'm like, I could run a lot longer when I'm drinking this Gatorade.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I heard it's called Gatorade because it was the dude from he was a staff member on the Florida Gators.
Yeah.
Developed the drink.
Yeah.
Because it's so hot in Florida.
Yeah.
So they could keep playing, and then it became, it went nationally. But yeah. I don't think people who, one, have ever played football, or two, worked out in real heat.
Yeah.
Like how quickly your body just shrivels up.
Yeah.
And like the idea that you could eat 4,000 calories a day. Well, the one thing I remember when the guy who was hella good at swimming, the Olympic guy,
Michael Phelps.
Thank you. They said he ate like 8,000 calories a
12,000.
day. Something ridiculous.
12,000. So 8,000 a day, 12,000 during competition.
Yeah.
Because that's how much you burning.
Yeah.
I remember one time they asked me, like, I was like, I know the answer. And then I punked out. I said 1,200. He was like, no, you can't survive off 1,200. But yeah, he would eat like, I think it was like 8 chocolate chip pancakes.
Something crazy.
Egg, like I think it was like 6 to 12 eggs with syrup because it had to be hella fattening because he had to get the calorie intake of it because I'm about to go swimming for 6 hours and burn that all off.
Yep.
So then it was that. And then competition days, he had to overload because he might be in 2 to 3 competitions that day. And like, this is going to last him all this time. And he has to like carb and load up so he can have all this energy throughout the whole time. Because once like I'm in the pool and I'm competing, that's all I got.
Yep.
Is this huge breakfast.
Yeah.
So,
I did swimming pretty much most of my life. I ended up coaching right before I went to college. Yeah. And it was great. Swim season was great. You could eat whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
Just your 3-hour practices was also pretty tough. I was just saying, you know what's crazy? I heard that chess competitions, guys who do chess, they end up losing a lot of weight if they don't eat. Because apparently chess is the right part of your brain that uses a bunch of calories to think.
Yeah.
These guys burn, they said like at a chess competition, these guys are eating 4,000, 6,000 calories a day.
Okay.
Otherwise, they lose weight like crazy, which is so weird because I always think calories like moving, but so much of just, if you think anything your body's doing, digesting food, that all takes energy too.
Yeah, makes sense why they stink. Burn a lot of calories and they brought no deodorant.
Sweating.
Brought no deodorant.
To A4.
Just going on real quick.
Since no one's not here, I'm just gonna make sure this thing's still running.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. You keep talking.
All right, yeah, because it's funny because you said, they sweat a bunch of calories, and then I remember I played chess with a few different people, and I remember immediately, like right after, I was like, I'm hungry, because I was like getting that sensation of tiredness or using that right side of the brain.
It has something to do with
I need something. I'm like, I remember I was like, hey, you got like some snacks in the middle of it, because I felt like I was lacking something, and it seemed like, I think it's the brain activity where you probably need to have like calorie stuff like to burn, so to create and continued thoughts.
Yeah, something about thinking about future events.
Yeah.
Chess is one of those games that the better you get at it, the more you see like 7-9 steps ahead. I guess that's very expensive for your brain. So it ends up overhauling, burning a bunch of calories. So
Gotcha.
I guess another way you could lose weight and not have to ever leave your house is just start playing chess on your days off.
Yeah. But then I wonder if it's better playing chess like online or in person kind of a thing.
Yeah, I wonder. I bet you in person, because then that other element of it that you're there.
It's just you're staring at the screen, so it's like a different kind of a function.
But I wonder too, you know how like those guys that are really good will play like 6 games at once?
Yeah.
They like walk. I wonder if it's like that. Like if you're doing a bunch of games at once, because then you're just stacking up all these.
I bet you it's probably this. It's 6 games at once against like average players.
Yeah.
But then it's like that real intense game between you and somebody who's like both y'all top 10. So you got to really sit there.
It comes down to like, it's not, it's like a really good basketball game.
Yeah.
It's not it's the person to make the first mistake.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
loses.
So it's like, and then, you made him, and then, and it was like, what? And then, boom, check, check. And it's like, snap! This one move, like, cost them everything. So,
like, when that one possession, you know, it's like, they gotta get at least a layup on this one.
Exactly.
When they don't, you're like, son of a
gotta get a foul. Damn, they foul, and then, but he got a shot attempt off. Now it's a 3-pointer instead of a 2. Like, oh, dang, you was a foul when he got the ball. Oh, why'd you foul their best free throw shooter? Like, kind of, you supposed to foul the center. He ain't got a good shot. Or foul LeBron. He's a 70% free throw shooter.
He is? I didn't know that. Oh, man. Are you a Jordan is the GOAT?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Okay. I became a bandwagon Warrior fan because my friend was a fan. So I don't know. I just hear what everyone says on either side of it.
The fun thing about it is, like, LeBron is great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can say that. But I never understood from LeBron people who say he's the GOAT. You're the GOAT when you've lost more than you won. We don't look at anybody else in any other sport. Even in basketball, Will Chamberlain was amazing. He was 1-7 against the Boston Celtics. Dirk Nowitzki made one finals, which was against LeBron, and he won that one. But LeBron is the only person who has a 4-6 record in the finals, and we're told that he's supposed to be the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
Also, people use excuses like, well, he never had a great coach, right? The coach in Miami, who he eventually left and went back to Cleveland for, is actually one of the best coaches in basketball right now. And then it's crazy because they said he never had help, but then once he went to Miami, he kept building super teams in his favor so he could have the possibility of winning. And then when he did that his first time in Miami, he lost to the Dallas Mavericks and came up very small. He averaged like under 8 points the last 3, like game 4, 5, and 6 or some shit. And they like got swept, right? Came back, won back-to-back, and he lost again, all right? So, and then he had lost before, so he was 2-3 in the finals. Went back to Cleveland because he said he wanted to come home. That's not actually why he wanted to do it. It was actually because in Miami he didn't get the same benefits and stuff like that, and they didn't get like his crew couldn't come in. They had to be up like in the stands. They couldn't like be doing businesses in Miami. Everybody was in Ohio, so because they wouldn't let him in. Like Pat Riley, that's the team president, wouldn't let him in and stuff like that, right? So he went back to continue his business and also do that. And then he teamed up with Kyrie, brought in Kevin Love, and then like he stacked the team. So again, I got 3 All-Stars. I can put myself be able to win. and then he lost that time in the finals. Kyrie got hurt. They also said Kevin Love got hurt, but Kevin Love was never a factor in any of the playoffs, right? Next year, he beats the Warriors, which I always felt like I hated because they said they blew a 3-1 lead. I'm like, well, Draymond got suspended after we was up 3-1 going into Game 5, right? Then Bogut,
that was a little like conspiratorial.
It was.
It got a little weird.
It was because I watched it because it was like, well, he was kicking dudes in the nuts. He didn't kick LeBron in the nuts. He didn't hit him in the nuts, right? Like, I've seen that replay a million times, right? Like, I always say, if you're going to suspend Draymond, suspend him against OKC because he kicked that man in the nuts, all right? He like,
no one cares about OKC.
But I know, right? Viciously. Like, it was a straight boom, like, kind of a thing. And then the crazy thing about the time where he said Draymond hit LeBron in the nuts, right? Draymond, first of all, LeBron tackles him to the ground, basically. Like, they get tangled up, and he throws him down. Instead of, like, people flopping, Draymond didn't even flop. He literally, he threw him down, right? Then, as he's, waiting for LeBron to step over him so I can get up and stuff like that, LeBron stands over him, waits. And then, as Draymond starts to get up, he put his dick on Draymond's forehead. Like, he hits his groin or his forehead. And he was like, hey, man. He's like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is what the hell is that, right? And then he called him a bitch. He called him a bitch right after that, right? And then LeBron goes to he's like, it's a man with 2 kids or 3 kids. I don't tolerate that disrespect. You shouldn't call a man that, right? And he just like, man, nah, it was disrespectful, like some dumb shit, right? Then Brian Windhorst, who works for ESPN, loves to start narratives, loves to create drama. He was like, I feel like the NBA needs to look into this. And then Draymond got suspended for the next game all of a sudden. And the last time a player was suspended in the finals was 2006. It was Jerry Stackhouse. And all of a sudden, we do it again in 2016. We do it again in 2016 for Draymond Green because he was kicking people in the nuts. I'm like, no, Steven Adams was the dude who kicked in the nuts. I'm like, no. I was like, dude, LeBron put his dick on his forehead. Did we not see that, right? Then, because that happens, LeBron and Kyrie both goes off for 40 points, right? But in that game 5, Bogut breaks his leg.
Right.
And then so we had our top 2 defenders out that game. That's why Kyrie and LeBron both went for 40 in that game. And then the next game, Draymond comes back. He was timid. He wasn't really doing much because if I mess up and stuff like that, I can get ejected again.
Yeah.
Then in game 7, Draymond drops 30. Curry doesn't show up, but Curry was hurt too. Like, the block, the famous block. He come to chase down from behind. Iggy hurt his back earlier in that finals, right?
Yeah.
And then I hate the fact that people give so much credit to the block because Iggy's going up with a bad back and JR is right there. So he has to move away from JR to try to lay it up. And he was like, he would have dunked it, but he got a bad back. And then LeBron comes from the back and swats it. I'm like, dude, if JR wasn't right there, he lays it up and you don't have time for this block. So it's all this stuff. And then the things I don't hate, I hate about that too is, right, people talk about, well, the reason why y'all beat the Cavs last time is because Kyrie was hurt. I was like, first of all, Steph Curry got hurt in the middle of the postseason. He got hurt, I think, against the Trailblazers, missed most of the next series, and then when it was playing the Houston Rockets. Came back, I think, game 6, but we had beat them out. And then he was hobbled coming off the bench against OKC when we played them. That went to game 7. And then Curry he had a terrible game. But then in overtime, he was I think 6 for 6 and scored 14 points, and we ended up winning the game.
Yeah.
So he was like, I'm back. But he's not back, and he was still hobbling. He really couldn't move around.
I think one of the things that shifts a team's direction, which can never be accounted for, is those injuries. Because I remember that, I don't think it was that year. Maybe it was a different year. Warriors Rockets when CP3 got hurt.
Okay.
Because they were kicking the shit out of the Warriors.
I always hear this argument too. CP3 gets hurt every single playoffs.
That's what I hear. Again, I was a newer fan at the time. I know Ronnie and I were in downtown Sacramento. We were supposed to be on a date.
Yeah.
And I could not stop checking my phone. Yeah. I was so pissed that the Rockets were up every time I checked my damn phone.
I saw that too.
And then it flipped, and I'm like, what? How? I looked it up, and it was like CP3.
CP3 gets hurt.
Yeah, I was like,
but then I'm like, they was like, man, and then people started discrediting all the Warriors championships.
Of course, yeah.
Because it was like, oh, you only won this because this people got hurt. You only won this because this person got hurt. You only won this because I'm like, well, LeBron only won the 2 rings in Miami because he teamed up and had the best team in the league.
Yeah.
And then once again, you won it again in Cleveland because you had a great team as well, but it wasn't as good as Miami. But then also we was dealing with our own injuries, but because Curry played through a bad ankle and knee, and then Bogut was out, but it was like Bogut was even a really good player. I was like, no, he wasn't an all-star, but he was our top defender. Yeah. He was like he was our top center. Mm-hmm. And then not only that, Draymond got suspended. He was like, well, he was suspended for 1 game. And I'm like, come on, y'all. If we gonna acknowledge the stuff that y'all say we have, y'all gotta acknowledge the other stuff too. Like, it doesn't make sense. And then
injury management should be part of your team plan. I mean, if you can't keep your guys healthy because you're pushing them too hard,
exactly. And that's why I remember Iguodala said that's why that team got so beat up, because they was going for the 79 when we beat the record.
Yeah, they went 72 and something.
72 and something. Because they was chasing that record, people played a lot more instead of resting, and then that's why so many more injuries happened, especially playing late into the postseason in June. And then LeBron ended up facing the thing that he created when KD came and joined the Warriors.
Yeah,
like he was like, yo, and then people like nowadays, Jordan couldn't beat that KD team, that KD Warrior team. I was like, LeBron created the fact that young players in their prime or before their prime even starts joins up with a super team. Because LeBron was 25 when he went to Miami. Most of the time, we never see that. We see players going to coming together when they're later in their careers. Because like, yo, I've been with this team for 12, 13 years. I'll probably only got 3 more years in my career left. I'm going to try to go. I'm going to take less. I'm going to go team up with somebody else to win. LeBron did that at 25. Yeah. He came in the league at 18. He
had so much hype around him too, right? Like, I don't know too much about this because I wasn't a fan back then. It sounds like there was so much pressure on him to be the GOAT. Yeah. Like, from the moment he was around, I feel like people were like...
He had a tattoo called The Chosen One. So it was like, it was he had a lot of pressure just to be amazing. From straight out the gate. And he was doing that. Yeah. But then he started seeing himself as a GOAT. People started being victimized. But then, people start calling him the GOAT now. But I'm like, how are you the GOAT when you losing? Yeah. And then because people ridicule KD from leaving OKC, going to the Warriors, but forget that LeBron went from Cleveland to Miami. Yeah. Then left again, went from Miami back to Cleveland.
Because he went back and he won them a championship, and it was
I'm like, this dude who's the GOAT keeps switching teams to give himself the best chance to win, and then he's still not winning. Does that not play a factor? Point. And then I keep seeing you lose in the finals when you give yourself the best chance to win in the finals. Yeah. So how are you the GOAT? And so I'm like, if you're the GOAT, you don't have to keep setting yourself up. You don't have to keep leaving a team to set yourself up all the time. People will come to you. People come to you because they know they can win with you, right? Mm-hmm. Instead of you leaving, okay, this situation ain't that good, I'm going to leave again. Okay, this situation, I'm going to leave again. So it's like, all right,
Well, that's been Kyrie's whole thing ever since he left.
Yeah. I mean, Kyrie went to Boston. And then that's the funny thing about it, because people was like, dang, LeBron really kept this crazy dude in check. Like he was still able to manage things like that.
He's a Buddhist, believes in the flat earth.
Yeah. All this crazy stuff.
I'm fasting.
I'm fasting. I'm not getting vaccinated. I'm not, this stuff ain't, and then he not giving me a clear answer. But then he out. It was crazy because he was like, you can play at the away games, but then you can't play for the team. And then he shows up, buys courtside tickets, and they allow him because he's buying tickets as a fan. And then he's walking in with no mask and goes to get players COVID because he went in the locker room and he wasn't supposed to. So it's like all this crazy stuff. And then that's where I give the nod to LeBron over KD, because KD went to Brooklyn to tee up with Kyrie and Harden, but he didn't put his foot down or to say, hey man, get vaccinated, let's win this ring. Mm-hmm. That was the main purpose. They came together to win the ring. Yeah. But then Kyrie was like, nah, I ain't trying to do this. And KD was like, hey, I just want to talk basketball, dude. I'm not here to talk. And because KD's not a big vocal leader. Yeah. He's just like, hey, we overblowing this thing. I'm just here to talk basketball. It's like, no, dude. Because that's why Harden left. Harden was like, I'm here. Harden literally said, if I got to vaccinate Kyrie myself, I'll do it. Mm-hmm. Because we trying to win a ring, right? Yeah. Harden was on board. Yeah. And then they said Harden saw that KD wasn't holding Kyrie, his homie, accountable. So Harden said, fuck it, I'm leaving.
Oh, wow.
So he's like, all right, I only came back here to win because I ain't want a ring. You ain't won a ring since the Warriors. You ain't won a ring since LeBron. All right, I came here to win, and we were so close. We had the Bucks in a game 7, took them to overtime. I had one bad hamstring. KD, if you wore a 16 instead of a 21, you made a 3-point shot, and we beat the Bucks. But because your toe was on the line, it was a 2. All right, we come back next year. Let's run it back. Let's stay healthy. Let's win this ring. Kyrie, I ain't getting vaccinated. And then Harden like, bro, you ain't gonna say something to your boy?
Yeah.
Nope.
I didn't know about any of this. I was not paying attention to the Nets.
And then Harden said, fuck it, get me out of here. I'm going to Philly.
Wow, yeah.
So then that's where, when it comes to those two, KD and LeBron, KD's the better player, but LeBron is the much better leader. Yeah. Like he holds people accountable, but he does stuff like he puts management in a weird situation like, hey, man, I don't know if I'm going to come back.
Yeah.
I'm going to sign a 2-year deal instead of a one. I'm going to sign a one with a 2, like I'm going to sign a 2-year deal, but a 1-year
option.
It's like an option to return. But if I don't sign 2 straight out, like, you know, I'm keep, because you can leave. If I leave, y'all ain't, you know, so it keeps their foot more to the gas. Like, we got to bring players in. We got to make sure that we're like a free agency. We got to make sure we're active and things like that. But then Katie was like, nah, I'm just doing basketball. Like, I ain't trying to do all that stuff. Like, once you brought the team together, you brought all these people who came to, because I remember Blake Griffin, who didn't have that much left, came. Andre Drummond came to Brooklyn. They traded. The only bad thing they did, they traded away the center, a young center, for DeAndre Jordan. But DeAndre Jordan didn't have nothing left, and then the center they traded away became an all-star the next year. And it was like, okay, that was the one bad move y'all did. But other than that, people was coming to Brooklyn to win with KD. But then because Kyrie didn't get vaccinated, everybody else like looking at Katie, like, tell you, we all vaccinated except like one other role player who didn't. But it's like, we need you, Harden, Kyrie, and then a bunch of us are former All-Stars who got like on our last legs, but we could come in, give you some playing time. We could play some D. Let's do it, man. Are we here? Let's do it. Looking at Katie, and Katie didn't come through with it. Katie didn't tell Kyrie, get vaccinated, get on this shit, stop fucking around, and then that's everybody just left.
It's interesting that you say that too, because I realize now, as long as I've been watching basketball, I've never looked at KD as a leader.
Yeah.
He's just been a great player.
Great player. Phenomenal player.
Yeah.
One of the best shooters of all time. Probably third best shooter because it's third or fourth because it's Curry, Clay, KD, and Dame. Like those, like, you know.
Well, especially for his size, right?
Yeah,
My dad was talking about because he's so big, it's really impressive that he's so good at 3-point shooting.
Yeah, because it's because I believe KD is 7'1". He says he's 6'11" or 6'10", but I believe he's like 7'1". Because
you were telling about he didn't want to get put his center or something.
Yeah, he
didn't
want to get put his center.
Yeah.
So like, and then I raise up, and then like I'm not only because I'm 7 foot basically. I'm 7'1". So I raise up. I'm taller than whatever guard who might be 6'8" to 6'9" is guarding me. If you put a center in front of me, he's not fast enough to keep up with me. I'm like, boom, boom, and then I can just go like, right. So then now I'm taller than you, and then I raise up, and now my arms are taller than you. So I got bank, right. So it's that, and then what was you saying? I forgot.
Oh, I just said that I never saw KD as like a leader.
Yeah. So yeah, because it's funny so he left OKC because he wouldn't step up to Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, I feel, is a great talent, super phenomenal guy, but a great leader, but also selfish and is not key to a championship winning team. Like whenever KD would be going off, Russ wanted to go off too. Like KD might be 18 of 20 for 45 points. Russ will be like 13 of 28 for 36 points.
But he's still throwing them up.
And then Katie like, hey, coach, you going to tell him to pass me the ball? Instead of like, hey, man, pass me the fucking ball, dude. You see me cooking? But they'd be like, okay, he cooking. I'm going to start cooking too. And then also Russ, like they blew a lot of leads because Russ' mindset was like, I'm just drive down and score. I'm going to drive down and score instead of, hey, take the ball up slow. No, I'm going to push the pace, right? So it's 25 seconds on the clock.
Yeah.
Right? We got a 20-point lead on this team, right?
Yeah.
What you going to do? I'm going to slow it down, milk the clock, pass it around, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Either I shoot or KD shoot it, but when I shoot it, it's going to be about 5 to 4 seconds left on the shot clock, right?
Yeah.
Nope. I'm going to run down. I'm going to shoot it with 21 seconds on the shot clock. I'm going to miss it because I'm not that great of a shooter. And now they get the rebound. Now they come back. They do a layup. I go down, shoot it again, and it's 21 seconds locked. I miss. They come back, shoot another 3. They start wiping away that lead that we had. And it would happen like stuff, or like I'm about to drive, getting close, and then like I'll turn the ball over.
Right.
He would have crucial turnovers, or they would foul him, and Russ was like a 60% free throw shooter, another bad free throw shooter too. Yeah. So it doesn't help what was happening. And then that's why KD left, because like coaches wouldn't say, hey, tell this dude to stop shooting so much. Let me cook, because I can score 50 easily. This man's he could score 42 if he in the zone, but I get in the zone easier, and I'm a much better shooter than he is. And he'll get 42 points off of like 18 or 40 shooting.
Yeah.
I can get 40 off of like
more
12
efficiently.
12 or 15, you know?
Yeah.
Like I hit 6 threes. I had a bunch of mid-range shots. I got 35 in the first half. And then I finished the game with 38 or 42, because this dude wanted to take 17 shots.
Yeah. It's actually, I never noticed it that way about his play style. It reminds me actually of how early Conor McGregor was, where he was always going for the early round knockouts, because you come to find out he does not have any endurance. Yeah. But he learned that he had to like start slowing. Like he did what Russell Westbrook failed to learn, which was that, okay, if I can't do that, I can't guarantee I'm going to knock a guy out early on. I got to start learning how to slow my game down. Yeah. Like when Conor McGregor beat Nate Diaz the second time with all the leg kicks. Yeah. That was that was a real change in strategy. Yeah. I'm not going to just try to pop this guy with my left hand. Yeah. And he was successful, but it was a way different style. Yeah. Yeah, every time I watch Russell Westbrook on a team, I just go like, this team's going to get worse.
Yeah.
It sucks, because on paper, you're like, he should be great.
He never developed a consistent three-point shot, never know how to slow down the pace, and then he always had crucial turnovers at the same time, too. And then he never, because it's crazy, because the crazy thing about Russ, he never gets hurt, right?
Oh, I never noticed that.
He didn't start getting hurt. So I think he had hurt last year.
He never gets hurt. He just hurts his team.
Yeah. So Russ joined the Lakers. He joined LeBron and AD Lakers, right?
Yeah.
And then they had because LeBron, every team LeBron's on, the system is him.
Yep.
We're gonna set me up to be like the best. Y'all gonna eat off me. Y'all gotta get off me, right? Like y'all gotta pause or no Diddy.
No, I get what you mean. Yeah.
So like it's gonna go through me. I need to get my touches because I'm not a spot up shooter. AD, I'll kick it to you, or you get the rebound and stuff like that. And then Russ, you're gonna be the third role. You're gonna be the third guy on the pecking order, right? Third guy. It's okay, cool. And then immediately the season start, he said, "Fuck all that. I'm gonna keep
Kobe
pushing."
in him. The Kobe in him goes
I'm gonna push the pace. I ain't doing none of that stuff, right? And then it was just like such a bad matchup. And then it was funny because AD and LeBron both got hurt, and then that's when they played well because it's Russ by himself. All right, I'm pushing the pace, y'all. Like I gotta pass it off to Atlanta. And so it was like, all right, well, we need to bring Russ off the bench. It was like, nah, if we do that, I'm gonna lose him. And so and then it wasn't until the second year that he kind of started doing a little more, but Russ still had those like, nah, fuck that, I'm taking this shot. But because also Russ was healthy as they were hurt, so then like, oh, Russ is doing good. I think he started off like he won like 3 games, right? But then he started playing like tougher teams, and he have like a crucial turnover, or he'll get fouled, and he would be like, he missed 2 key free throws, or then like he'd have a wide open 3, brick it. And then so it was all this stuff like, yo, this dude like missing like tons of shots. Like, damn, this dude is like not efficient. And then LeBron and AD, like, you just like, damn, like Russ ain't that good, huh? Like Russ ain't that, like, he averaged another triple double, but then it became nonsense because like, all right, I'm gonna get a rebound, I'm gonna get an assist. He
fished for the triple double at the expense of the game. Yeah.
And then like I'm gonna score 20. So I get my triple double, and then it's like, all right, okay, you average another triple double, but you have 4 turnovers when the last 5 minutes of the game. Yeah. So like I remember one time they was like, he got a triple double because he had 20, 10, 10, and 10 for 10 turnovers. Then one time he was having double doubles. He was like, he had 20 points, 12 turnovers. It was crazy. So it just wasn't efficient basketball a lot of the time. And now Russ is on the Nuggets, but it's just like, dude, you just never developed a consistent shot, and you just never learned how to slow shit down, but you're still super athletic. You're still like got a doggy, but if you was able to switch your game up more, you could have really been so much better. Like, or like, hey, I'm gonna stop scoring 20 and averaging triple double. I'm gonna just start scoring 20. Like I'm gonna start scoring like 18.
Yeah.
Or just be like, yo, my points gonna go down, my assists gonna go way up. Instead of averaging a triple double, I'm going to start averaging 18, like 17 to 20 assists and like 5 rebounds.
Yeah.
because now it's I'm getting my teammates way more involved, and I'm like slowing the pace down. I'm not turning over as much. So yeah.
Do you ever watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
No, I don't.
Okay, so there's 4 people in that squad,
Yeah,
right? There's
yeah.
Charlie Day, there's Rob McElhenney, there's Glenn Howerton, and there's D. And there was one episode where they were trying to like rob a bank or something, and they're trying to explain their roles. And he goes, "All right, so like Mac, you're gonna be the lookout, like you're gonna be the muscle," and Charlie goes, "And I'll be the wild card." And they go, "What?" And he goes, "And I'll be the wild card." You know, it's you always need a wild card on the squad. And like, no, I don't think we need a wild card on the squad. Like, but that's Russ though. He goes, "Hey, we got the plan." He goes, "And I'll just do whatever I want, right?"
I'll just do whatever. Like, no, we need you to be tame, wild and tame. No, just tame, wild and tame. Gotcha.
He goes,
all right.
He goes, so that doesn't even make sense. How can we trust you? He goes, "No, you know, I mean, when things go south, I'll be the wild card and I'll figure it out." In the episode, of course, he does figure it out because it's a show. But that you said that, and I thought of that exact scene.
Or like Dane Cook said, he's like, there's always like a robbery, and then every single time, like we plan it out. We got this crew, and then all of a sudden, somebody can't make it. But I brought my one homie who's good, and that dude fucks everything up. He's like who's this? Oh, this Daryl. He's cool. He's cool. Now we were playing this shit for months. Don't worry about it. He's cool, man. And he either double cross somebody, fuck something up, shoot somebody, try to take all the money. So it's always that. It's always that, man. It's crazy.
That is hella funny. Dude, being a Warriors fan, though, during that whole KD era was so much fun.
Yeah.
The closest I ever got to being a Patriots fan. I was like, this is what it feels like to be this dominant all the time.
I never, and I'm mad because once, I'm not going to lie, people hated on the Warriors so much. People hate on us when we got KD, and once we lost KD, I would see online, good, y'all losing. And shit, I'm like, fuck all y'all, all right? Because I'm an OG Warrior fan when we had the mascot Thunder.
Yeah.
When I remember, I think I shared it. I share this every time I can. I was at like some kind of carnival or something like that, and they was giving away Warrior tickets. I won 2 for me and my cousin, and then they had to give away the rest, and they gave 7. So I had 9 total Warriors tickets, and my auntie wouldn't take me because they said they gonna lose. And then to go from that to we the best team,
right? Yeah,
like
it was a huge turnaround.
Huge turnaround, dude.
Even aesthetically, you look at what the team, like that version of the Warriors, almost looked kind of like cartoonish, and then like they went to this almost like Apple Store look to them.
Yeah,
it's interesting because I forget that they used to have that old Warriors look to them, which was cool in its own right. I'm not making fun of it, but I'm saying the aesthetic was very different.
I mean, it was kind of like the Warriors and the A's was kind of the same. Like, hey, we got some dope players on this team, but they won't be great until they fucking leave. You know, like when Jason Giambi left, when not Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire left, when he became great, and all
Cat Williams.
So yeah.
Once they leave, they'll be great.
They'll be great. So I remember Jason Richardson won the slam dunk contest 2 years in a row, and I was like, well, this dude gonna be a Hall of Famer once he leaves the Warriors. I was like, the best. I used to argue with people. Was like, who's the best player in the league? I was like, Jason Richardson. He just stuck on the Warriors.
Yeah, there was someone else my dad said was like their main guy, and it wasn't until they actually traded him away that the team got better because they kept building around him. I wish I could remember this guy's
Monte
name.
Ellis, probably.
Yes, yeah, Monte Ellis.
Because Monte Ellis would shoot and had the green range. He had the range, or he had the green light to shoot as much as he wanted, but he wasn't efficient enough to win games. So he could score like 32, but like again, he was kind of like Russ, where like you scored 32, but it was like you took 30 shots.
Yeah,
you made 15 or 12 of them. So like, this is not helping. And that's when we drafted Steph, because Steph was like a better shooter. So like he could partner with him. But then like Monte looked at him as like he's gonna replace me, and eventually we traded Monte for Andrew Bogut because it was like we're gonna put the keys in Curry hands, and we drafted Clay. And the funny thing about it was Clay, I think was taken a year later, but Harrison Barnes was supposed to be our guy. Harrison Barnes will be the guy. He's in the Mavs, or he's back with Sacramento. And I remember Harrison Barnes also had a terrible finals. Like when we played the Cavs and we lost, Harrison Barnes hit some clutch threes against OKC that propelled us to the finals. But in the finals, he could not make a bucket to save his life. I think he was like 0 for 9 from 3. Like they showed how many misses he had. I think in like 2 games or some shit like that, he had made 1 shot. He was like dumb. Like everyone was like wide open 3. Miss. Wide open 3. Miss. Wide open 3. Airball. And we was like, bro, what the fuck is going on? And then also Harrison Barnes was in a contract year that year. we did not re-sign him. And then I think he went to Dallas or something and like signed like $70 million instead of trying to get like the 150 to 160 million that he wanted. And I was just like, yeah, this dude sucks. That's why it was funny when we played Sacramento in the playoffs years later. We used to leave Harrison Barnes wide open because we knew he was gonna miss every single three he took. And I was like, oh yeah, he gonna miss it just like in the finals. And he missed all of those.
It's like the worst thing to hear when you're watching people play street ball. Like, don't guard him.
Yeah.
Let him shoot.
Yeah. I remember that happened to me because I didn't have like a 3-point shot, and then I remember I started to develop like it's like don't guard him, he trash. I was okay, and then I couldn't shoot a 3 for some reason. If I stepped on the line or stepped like 1 foot in and shoot it, made it all the time.
Yeah, that momentum shot. Yeah.
So they was like, don't shoot him. He ain't gonna make it. And I was like, I've been practicing. And I just took a shot. I'm like, who? And it was like, what the hell? So they was like, all right. Keep him first. Don't let him step up. That was like the next thing.
Yeah.
So I'll be like, boom, and I like bump, and then I'll take a step up, and I'll still make it. And I was okay. I was figuring it out.
Yeah.
But it was.
I recently just saw a video, like either on Bleacher Report or someone like that, talking about Curry's shot and how one thing that really separates him from other people is even when he stops, he kind of rolls his ankles in a way that he keeps the momentum that he had. And so you'll notice a lot of times he doesn't actually like hurl the ball. He just kind of guides it and lets it drop. Which I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like
it's a crazy nuance because his dad is one of the best shooters that ever played.
Right.
And then he taught his son how to become one of the best shooters. And then Seth Curry, his younger brother, he's good too. But Seth Curry, the thing about it, he transferred from a small school and went to Duke, and then that messed him up. Instead of staying at the small school developing more, he tried to jump to go. And funny about it, he was the better shooter out of the two coming out of college.
Yeah, well, there was I think only a couple years ago, he had technically better shooting stats than Steph did.
Yeah, but
when he was with Philadelphia.
Yeah, and Steph was like hurt or stuff like that. But like, because Steph was the better scorer, Seth was the better shooter.
Yeah.
And then Davidson, he was just like Steph was just going crazy because he was averaging like 20, like 30 or something, or even 40 or something. He was doing crazy stuff. But Seth was the better 3-point shooter because he's like spot up shooter, like he can do it all kind of stuff. Went to Duke, got lost in like the Duke sauce. So like just like top 5 players in the country coming there, and you lost. That's why he went undrafted. So he should have stayed at the small school and just became like whatever. But yeah, love basketball, man. Basketball. Love Curry. He just signed a 1-year extension, dude. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah,
$62 million.
You think he's gonna stay for the rest of his career? Or?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't see why he would leave. I mean, it is a bummer they got rid of Clay.
Clay thing is like the Clay thing is hard, but also Clay like. You're not what you used to be, coming off a torn ACL and then a Achilles.
It is true.
And then like, because it was so like Clay's not coming back because his last game with us, he was 0 for 7 and he scored 0 points. I was like, you gone, Clay. Because like that's what management needed to not re-sign you. You score 0 in a game that we need to like go into the playoffs. I'm like, yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
And I still say to this day, because like, KD left because him and Draymond got into it. Him and Draymond got into a fight with the one dude his teammate who he punched in the eye and knocked him out. Jordan Poole.
Yeah, Jordan Poole.
And I always say
Miles Brown.
Yeah, I always say to this day, I was like, if Curry and Clay was better vocal leaders, we would have got rid of Draymond a long time ago. Because Draymond is the vocal leader. Draymond is the defensive player. Draymond gets in everybody's heads, and he's just like that dog that Clay and Curry doesn't have from like the leadership standpoint.
Yeah.
Like Curry lead, like, hey, no, we need to fucking, kind of do this shit. But like Draymond will get in your face like, hey man, you need to fucking do this shit. And sometimes he goes overboard with it. But Curry, especially like that's why Jordan Poole got traded. Because Jordan Poole started saying shit to Curry and Clay, and he was getting on both their nerves. And then that's when and Curry was like, I get the fuck up out of here. Like it was like, it was also crazy to me. Like I've fought some of my homies on the football field because I'm tired in practice.
Yeah. Tensions run high when you're like physically just uncomfortable.
Physically tired, and then coaches be having you practice dumbass long. Like fights always happen in training camp. I don't know why they made it seem like this don't. Draymond punching Jordan Poole, I'm not surprised. I remember one time, I still remember this because he was like one of my best friends, closest friend. I remember like it was spring ball, and I'm playing line at this time. I'm bigger. and I'm out of shape because I know it's gonna take me like about a month and a half to get in shape and be able to do this running consistently and shit like that. I was like, but these first 2 weeks gonna be hell. And I was like, if they just slow the pace down, I catch my breath, I can do it instead of like be damn near want to quit or cut somebody out because they want to. Because I used to fight people when they used to try to go too fast and get in my line. I was like, what the fuck you doing? We slowing the pace down because because I was a dude who let me get my rest and I can maximize my running each time. Don't all of a sudden we come back after running like 100 and then we rest 15 seconds, say go. And you like, I'm like, what the fuck you do? Like we linemen, we all like 250 up to 300 pounds. I need rest.
Yeah.
And even if it's a running back or a corner, you need rest too. Otherwise, you're going to be susceptible to injuries because we ain't getting enough rest. But some dudes be impatient, like, go, right? So my homie, he was like, when we go? I was like, let's slow it down. I was like, slow it down. Slow it down. And then somebody was like, say, go. And I was like, what the fuck, right? And I was like, who the fuck said that, right? And then I'm next to my homie, and then he tired too. And then we come back, and then our next time I was like, man, we just slow this shit down. And he was like, yeah. And then all of a sudden, I was like, okay, waiting a little bit. And he say go. And I literally cock back. Because I was about to punch him in his damn face because I was exhausted. But I had to stop and I was like, and it was like, Snell, don't do it. And I was like, what? And it was like, go, Snell. And I was like, oh, and I had to run because when I'm exhausted, dude, I'm quick to fight.
Sure. I'm
quick to fight because hey, I need to get my rest. Stop trying to speed the pace up.
Yeah.
Because you want to go faster, but then I'm looking at everybody around here who exhausted. Somebody just pulled his hamstring because we ain't getting enough race. And then I'll tell the coach, hey, coach, how much time we got to get down there? Like, oh, you got lineman guy, let's say you got down and back 45 seconds. And you're supposed to do a 2-minute rest. Mm-hmm. So everybody, because if you get a 2-minute rest, you get less hypervascular stuff like that. It trains you. If you're out of shape, you're out of shape. Yeah. If you get 2-minute rest, that's what your body get used to, and that's how you can get to maximize the reps. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't, nobody. Because what's gonna happen is you keep shortening the rest time, so you go from 2 minutes to 1 minute 45 to a minute and a half, sometimes to a minute and 15.
Yeah.
And what's gonna happen? Nobody gonna make the time, and they're gonna be like, that didn't count. And the coach is gonna be looking like, what the fuck wrong with y'all? And they're gonna be like, they going too fast, coach. Like we just did, because also you don't feel better as the more you run.
Yeah.
So we doing more and you shortening the time. Yeah. No, you need to keep it the same or maybe even help it even longer because then that way we can get more win and we're tired at this point. Don't shorten it all of a sudden because you want to hurry up and get it over with. Yeah. That doesn't make sense. Shortening it doesn't help you faster, but it's because there's going to be, oh, we did this first one good. All right, let's go faster. Let's hurry and do it. Do the second one good. By the time, especially if you're doing 10, by the third and fourth one come, you exhausted. So 5 and 6, you struggling, can't run. Coach is mad because nobody can run because everybody's exhausted already. What the fuck happened? They shortened the time. Like, all right, everybody sit here. We waiting 3 minutes. Catch your breath. Because I've seen coaches do this. Yeah. Catch your damn breath because y'all going too fast. Y'all trying to cut the time because y'all want to get the shit over with. But we give you a rest period for a reason.
Yeah.
So you can regain your air because we're all out of shape. And then we're going to go. If you want to go faster, go with a faster group. Because there was this one dude. His name was Hema. He used to love to go faster than everybody else, but he could run with like linebackers and running backs, right? And sometimes like safeties, because he could do conditioning fast. Wasn't a good player. He could just condition fast.
Yeah.
And then also I was like, oh, I know why this dude can condition fast, because he ain't playing. He ain't in the drills. He ain't doing like one-on-ones with like first team versus first team. He ain't first team scout. He ain't first team defense. He ain't first team offense. So by the time the conditioning come, he full of energy.
Yeah.
He got all the energy to burn. He got to go fast because he got all the energy. Meanwhile, I started on offense. I started on defense. I might even did some other stuff. I'm like doing other stuff. I'm like talking to the coaches and stuff like that, figuring stuff out. And then you going to say, are we going too slow? No, bitch. You ain't been playing.
Yeah.
You see me? I'm sweaty. And I was like, take your ass and go run with the running backs.
Yeah.
Because he was like, hey, we shouldn't be fighting our teammates. I was like, yes, we should if they're making us run. Because then also, right, I just hate this. I would fight running backs or corners if they didn't make times. Like if they didn't make the time, I'll get right next to them. You better make this time.
Yeah.
I will fight you.
Yeah.
And they're like, Snell, I was like, no, coach. If he can't make the time, I'll hit him. What you mean you hit him? You need to fight. I was like, no, it was like, you need to encourage your teammates. I am encouraging him because if he ain't gonna make the time, I'm gonna kick his ass. He was like, what you mean, Snell? Because I would run down there and get back. Because me and one of my homies, when we was in good shape, we would be racing each other to see who can get back the fastest.
Yeah.
So if I run down there and get back, little gas, we run down there and get back. We get back we got it 20 seconds. If I get back in 15, he get back in 15. We're going to try to see if we can get down to 14 the next time. But then the next few times, we got to slow it down because with linemen, we're not super fast like that. But if I run down there, sprint hella fast, and we get back at 15, and this motherfucker can't make 20 seconds, and he getting back at 23, 24 seconds, I'm going to encourage him, yo, let's keep going. And they be like, fuck you. What? Okay. I run there, I get back on time. Didn't make it. Who didn't make it? Same dude who ain't breathing. Hey, you got one more chance. Snell, calm down. No. Because if you don't, because this is what happened. This is why I almost fought him. Because I try to run down there with him, try to push him to hurry up and get back, right? To get the faster time. And he said, get your damn hands off me. So then I knocked him to the ground. And it was like, coach, he's like, Snell, you supposed to be a captain. You supposed to help him up. I was like, I did help him. And he told me to get his fucking hands off me. So then I knocked him to the ground because he ain't a good teammate.
Fuck, man.
And then coach was like, that's not how you supposed to do it. I was like, coach, I did everything you said. I encouraged him. I ran down with him to assist my teammate. He told me to get my fucking hands off him. And so that's why I took it in my own hands and I punched him. Like, Damn. What you want from me now? I was like, I did your way. Now this my way. I was like, now he gonna know he gonna better finish his time because the ass whooping coming. And then I'm gonna still make my time. Because by the time he get back, I'm gonna be well rested. He gonna be exhausted. What you want from me, coach? You got motivation, I got motivation. And then it was like, and a few people was like, some JV players told me, hey, you still be kicking people's ass if they don't make times? You goddamn right. You on VAR now. This is on VAR. I was like, You on VAR now. You don't make the time. I got enough energy to kick your ass.
Damn. Captain Corde over
Captain
here.
Corde, man. Hey, motivational tactics.
Yeah.
Make your time. Yeah. Feel pain.
Fear.
Tyranny. Because I remember, because what happened, a few varsity players did that to me. They didn't kick my ass, but what they would do, because they was assholes, or if I wasn't in shape, what they would do, they would run down, and on the way back, if they was beat me on the way back, they would purposely knock me down, and then I would have to get up, still make the time. So that's where I got that from. They was like, "Who you got this from?" I was like, "The seniors," because I'll be running down. So you already tired, right? Yeah. So instead of encouraging you, pushing you forward to help you like keep a pace, right? They see you was tired, bump you, knock you down, and you got to get your ass up after you already tired. Get up, run there to the line, touch that line, run all the way back and make the time. So they just make it more difficult on you.
Yeah.
Because then they'd be like, you got to make, because then the coaches be acting like they didn't see you. Because they was sometimes some seniors would be trying to get people cut because you're not in shape.
Yeah.
So they'd be like, coach would be like, I said, coach, you see that? I didn't see nothing. Go touch the line and come back. Because I'm like, and so then one time I was a tired JV player. I was a freshman. I said, y'all motherfuckers keep knocking me down. I'm just gonna run back and we ain't never gonna make no time. We gonna do 4 extra because of me. Ooh. I was like, y'all need to stop bumping into me. They was like, hey, I'll kick your ass. I was like, the same motherfucker who keep bumping into me say you gonna kick my ass. I was like, what? It's like y'all gonna be tired. Y'all gonna be too tired to exhaust me. Cause I was like, if I run down, you knock me down, I'm just gonna get up and walk back.
Yeah.
When none of us gonna make the time and you gonna be mad. So stop knocking me down. I had a science to it.
Yeah.
Because the people was like, man, Snell, we got hurt. I was like, no, tell these motherfuckers. I was like, stop acting like y'all see me getting knocked down by these varsity players and they trying to blame it on me for not making the time when you knock me down. All right, you knock me down, I'm going to walk back.
Damn.
So I had a host, and I was like, because everybody hated to run extra gases if you didn't need to.
Yeah, of course.
So then my thing is like, I'm going to help you make it. But when I was a freshman, I didn't know this stuff. Why are you making it harder on me? Because they're trying to get you cut because you're not making the time because you're out of shape. I probably was out of shape, but that's not, I'm trying to get in shape. Don't knock me down to not make the time.
Yeah.
Now I'm here. All right, cool. You want to knock me down? I'm going to trip you up or fight you on the ground or some shit. Now we both not make. I think that happened to me one time. It knocked me down. I grabbed a dude's leg, and I was just like holding his leg or something like that. They was like, "What you doing?" I was like, "What you doing? You knocking me down?" And it was like, and then Snell, go touch the line. No, I'm not. I'm walking back. They was like, go touch the line. I was like, I'm not. Damn. Blow the whistle, coach. And then I think he stopped practice. Like, go touch the line. I think he stopped practice, and I had to go touch the line. But I was like, he's like, now go, and I was like, nah. And then I eventually had to do it, but I had to talk to coach, and I was like, coach, this bullshit. This bullshit. He was like, what you mean? Me cussing at me. I was like, this bullshit. You saw them knock me down, so you're going to see them knock me down, not say nothing. I got to get up, go run to the edge, and then run all the way back and make the time. You know I'm tired. Why they knocking me down in the first place? Why don't you? I was like, aren't these varsity members? Shouldn't they be leaders for us? I'm a freshman. Why they knocking freshmen down? What, they afraid I'm going to take their job? I ain't afraid nobody take my job. But what you knocking me down for? Shouldn't you be showing me the ropes? Coaches, aren't they supposed to be your leaders? Is these your captains? These the captains you got out here? Damn. For real? This how you feel? I was like, what? I was like, this is why y'all been losing. So, it's bye, like, son. That's what somebody said. Bye. That's what somebody said. Sure. I was like, nah. They was like, go get dressed.
Wow.
So I got kicked off that day. Next day I came back and it was like, oh, okay. So I saw somebody knocked down. I think I saw somebody next day, it was another varsity member, because we had like a discussion. So I brought it up to like coach or some stuff like that, because they had a whole discussion with me. Yeah. So then it was like, so why are you cussing, or why are you talking back to coaches? I was like, I'm not talking back to coaches. We doing conditioning. Varsity players are knocking us down. I'm not making the time because I get knocked down when I'm tired. It's like, well, son, you in better shape. I was like, I didn't know I was going to be running and bumping into varsity players on the way back, and they not helping me up, and then I got to still make my time. The coach act like I'm not in shape when all these varsity players is knocking me down all the single times. So then I called it out. I was like, instead of doing, because they like varsity players like to fuck around sometimes, especially like, so they doing this. And I'm like, I don't feel this is fair as I'm trying to make the team, trying to get in shape. I'm looking up to these fools and they knocking me down during conditioning, and I'm not making times. That ain't helping nobody. And then it was okay. So it was like, we gonna spread out further than where people ain't getting knocked down. We'll make our damn times, right? So then it was like some varsity player who hadn't been there in a while, right? We spread out, he run down, and then he come back and wail on somebody. And then I think it's me or somebody else come up and wail on him and knock him down. Or they say, hey, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that no more. We talked about this. It's like, coach, you talking about? He's like, we ain't doing that no more. Help him up. So he had to go help him up, and then he had to go run with him. Wow. And come back. Yeah. And because I stood up for that, like, you know, it changed. And then I realized how this happened, because varsity and JV will run at the same time. Uh-huh. So like varsity skill positions go, JV skill positions go like a few seconds later. So varsity go down, touch the line, come back. So when, instead of, you know, because it's crowded, instead of just like moving out the way, they would just run into you. Yeah. So then when the linemen start doing that, that's what I was getting pissed, because you doing this and we supposed to be the team. We supposed to lead by example. So that's how that happened. And I got mad as hell. Also, I'm saying this very clear. I was not saying it clear when I was tired as hell. Sure. Because I'm just like, coach, I just don't get it. Why they over here knocking us down? And now the fuck. And then he was like, and then I'm yelling at him. I was like, now you about to blow the whistle, tell me to keep going. And now I ain't about to make the damn time, because I'm going to get over there and he going to knock me the fuck down. So it was funny. It was crazy.
Damn. We're at a minute 15 or an hour 15. So shit. I think we got to land this plane one last time.
Okay. Should I wrap it up right now?
I mean, we can go to like hour and a half. So like,
okay, cool, 10, cool. 15, yeah. So, okay. Shout out to Steven Fiso, because Steven Fiso asked me, and he was like, what does success look like to you?
Okay. Who is Steven Fiso?
Steven Fiso, he runs, he started a show at Baltic Kiss in Richmond. Black dude, lives in SF. You see his face, you know who he is. He's an SF comic, but he's super dope, cool, chill dude. He pops into the mic because he started off as a showcase, and then he was like, now it's just like an open mic every Monday. He's like, hey, you think we should move this to a showcase? I was like, no, keep it as a mic. People come out, people come to see this show. I was like, you know, you try to book people for the show, and some people don't show up, or it's like whatever. I was like, it's a cool mic. More people coming in. They come in expecting knowing people gonna try out new jokes. It's working. Just keep it a mic. Don't try to switch it up. I said, maybe try another day. He was like, I tried that. It didn't work. I was like, okay, well, maybe try a Friday or some shit, or a Saturday randomly. I was like, but keep the Monday open mic. That works. he was like, "How about you, man?" I was like, "Man, I heard you trying to do it," because he saw me about October 23rd when I'm headlining the Sounds of Improv. He was like, "Okay, so from that, what looked like success to you?" And I was like, well, I would love for my social media to keep growing, like a few clips pop off, and now I'm at 20, 30,000, maybe 40,000, and now I could do one-nighters, and stuff like that. He's okay. Is that the route you want to do? He was like, I was like, well, really, I want to be somebody's dope ass feature, be taken on the road, open up for them all across the country, maybe even the world sometimes, and then while being there, build a good rapport with like the management, shit like that. Because I'm a people person, so I can ask stuff like, "Hey, would y'all ever be possible? I could come back for like a one-nighter and see what I do." And I'll be cool with. I'll probably take a minute to ask people that, because I don't want to step on the headliner's toes. Like, this man keep like asking for like his own shows, even though I'm putting him like on the road and shit. I don't want to step on toes like that. But then it'd be like in my psyche, like, I don't know how long you gonna have me like be a feature. Also, I know headliners should be a dope headliner. You don't want your feature just be your feature forever. You want eventually them to go out, have their own opportunities as well. So just like stuff like that, or just go on the road for 2 to 3 years with like a dope dude, see the world, see the country, like do great stuff at all these different comedy clubs. And then let's say your social media start growing, and then you can like start doing one-nighters. Like, I remember I was telling somebody that Adam Ray, his homie was it Danny? He was Danny. So Adam used to do like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday show, right? Mm-hmm. Danny would come in the day before, like let's say Punchline, and headline a Wednesday show, and then feature for Adam the rest of the weekend. And I was like, that's a dope thing. Mm-hmm. But like, let's say the headliner you with doing Friday, Saturday, you fly in Thursday for your own show, headline it, and then feature for him for the rest of the weekend. Because then that's a dope way. Like, they starting to see you, that you got time for the headline, or you bring a little crowd in, and then you with your homie for the rest of the weekend, and then that's successful like that. And then it shows that you can feature, but also you can headline. And then eventually Danny now doesn't tour with Adam no more, because now he's able to pack, or he's able to do weekends. Like, he got his own weekend, I think it was like last year. And I was like, "Hey, you with Adam?" He's like, "Nah, dude, I got my own weekends now." I was like, "That's what the fuck we go," because like that's what you want to eventually become. So I think he had a Wednesday through Saturday, because whoever was supposed to be the headliner, they canceled last minute. So that got him the opportunity. And then I saw him, I think like a few weeks later, he was in Sacramento headlining up there, and I was like, "That's dope as shit." Like, dope, that's still dope. And then that way, because he was asking me, Steve was asking me, he's like, "What would it take for you to quit your job?" And I was just like, "Oh shit, like, I ain't, like, how much income would you need to make?"
Yeah.
Man, I was thinking, I was like, well, with one-nighters, let's say I get one-nighter a week in different places, and then I was like, let's say I sell out those shows, or let's say I don't sell out, but I make, I was trying to break it down. Let's say I make 4,000 off each show, off a one-nighter. That would be cool money. Like, that'd be good money to where, okay, I'm making maybe a month's worth or a month and a half's worth of salary by doing a few different shows. And then that way, now I'm trying to figure out the next step of, can I do whole weekends at smaller venues? Let's say if I do a one-nighter at like San Jose and I get it to like real big capacity, okay, now they know I have a draw, stuff like that. And then that moves me from a weekday show to a Sunday show. And maybe on a Sunday show, because it's the weekend, I could probably pack it out to where it's almost sold out. Now that shows that I have like the range and ability to do that, or some shit. Or maybe let's say I sell out a Sunday. Okay, well, let's see if he can sell out, or how would he do like on a weekend. And that's where you go from weekdays to weekend shows, stuff like that. And then, okay, well, shoot, I'm making this much this week. Then I got merch and stuff like that. And then now I'm like, okay, cool. I got a little buzz going for me too. And then now that, like, I always want to do Don't Tell, because I feel like Don't Tell is the new late night spot.
Yeah.
Like, not right now, it's kind of cooled off. I haven't seen it as much when Don't Tell was like hot as shit, but I was still like a dope Don't Tell set, because people are still blowing up off that. Still people have like a great success off that, or going on America's Got Talent. That's like another one, or still doing like a late night thing. Those are all like top 3, like that catapult you into success, or have a dry bar special, because then you can show, you can do clean, you can do cruises and things like that. But it's always, I kind of want to just do the clubs, kind of a say. And then like eventually, like we said earlier in the pod, I'll eventually move to LA. And so it's kind of you have to move to LA. I was telling Steve this. It was like, I always want to be like, oh shoot, like dude, I gotta move to LA because I gotta be out there. Like, hey man, what you doing? Can you come? I got like an acting, like I got an audition for you. Can you come? Can you be here in 1? I'm like, oh shit, I gotta drive down tonight, or like I gotta take tomorrow off. Like,
yeah.
Well, fuck, like, well, I need you here for like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because I got an audition for this time. I got audition for this day. I'm like, okay, fuck, well, I got to take 3 hours off work. And then it became like the thing where you got to move to LA because you need it there constantly. I remember that's what Andrew Arolfo told me. He's like, I'm moving to LA. I was like, why? He's like, because I keep getting called down for auditions. He's like, I got a week full of auditions. He was like, and then I might have one Monday, but then I'm not tired of living out of a suitcase, and then so I might have to just move down there because it's needed. So, and then that's what Kabir Singh told me too. He was like, you'd want to move down there, or at least go back and forth where you have connections, where you going down there, and then like, okay, you on this thing, you on this thing, kind of stuff like that. You have connection here, so where it's you're not going down there with no connections.
Right.
Go down there and make connections, see people, and then start building like a little network, so that eventually when you do move down there, you have something instead of like, I'm moving to LA.
Yeah.
I know nobody.
Yeah.
Because I heard like that's what a lot of comedians did, and some struggle. Like that was my biggest fear. That's why I didn't move to LA immediately. I was like, I moved to LA, and I was like, well, I don't really know nobody down there. I didn't want to be some of the homies who moved down there previously from the Bay, and then I only see them doing comedy that much. Like, what are you doing? Oh, I work here, or kind of like, it kind of took a minute, but now I'm kind of starting to get stuff. Like, okay, well, I could stay in the Bay and just keep going down. And I probably need to go down to LA more, but then when I do pop up, I see people, or I hit up people, and I make connections, and then they see me at like the Improv, or last time I went, I was at the Comedy Store making friends. Like, oh shit, what up, Corde? Like, I was like, I'm not here. I was like, but I'm visiting. It's like, you here? I was like, yeah, I'm making connections. It's like, that's smart, bro. That's smart. So yeah, hell yeah.
You're still unrepresented, right? You don't have an agent?
Yeah, I don't.
I noticed that, like, I mean, I see Jose getting some stuff now that he's got an agent. Have you thought about maybe doing that too? Because there are agencies up here that have connections to Contreras.
Oh, he has an agent?
He does, and that's how we got that opening in Vegas, or that comedy. Yeah,
okay.
That was directly because of his agent.
Oh shit, I didn't know that. Yeah. I was wondering. I was going to ask him.
He signed like a month ago, and now he's doing all these different type of venues, which I never knew. When you do acting, you know when it's time to get an agent.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of comedians think about that, like if they get represented. Yeah. So that might be something you could do, because if you get represented up here, a lot of times they have a connection to some agency down there.
Yeah.
Looking how much is done for Jose in this little bit of time, I was like, oh, maybe that's something that a lot of guys at your level should actually be thinking about.
I mean, yeah, I've definitely been thinking about it, and then I just didn't know, like, it's one of those, like, you think, like, it's one of those, I need 10K to get an agent, or like maybe I need this. Maybe I need to be doing more to get like an agent.
It.
Yeah. So you don't know. But like, yeah, if I like, I'll be down to.
Worst they could say is, we'll come back to us when this happens. Like
exactly.
They'll tell you exactly if you're there or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of cool.
So yeah, it'd be like, okay, come back to us when you're at 10K. Come back when this is going. Like, come back when like this kind of things. It's like. What connections do you have? Like, or like, like, oh, well, I'm doing San Jose in like, in a month and a half or like 2 months. But okay, well, cool. That's something that like, have you headlined in? It's like, yeah, I've headlined in like the Central Coast areas, or like I do like this. Like I just booked 2 shows in April 2025 in Tacoma, not Tacoma, but in Washington and in Oregon. Like I usually do those. I go up there. So those are my 2 spots. So like I'm like, okay, well, I got to take those 2 Fridays off back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
So that's like the furthest out book thing. But then I would start looking at like Laughology, that's where at UCSB, I'm like, hey, I was gonna ask the president, hey, like, so who runs it now? Like, can I get on the fall, like the winter thing? Or I was gonna look at ASV board at UC Santa Barbara, like, hey, can I come back to headline? Because that was a good check.
Yeah,
good little check. So it was like little stuff like that. So if I got somebody else working on stuff like that, that'll definitely help me more. Cause I feel like that's the next step for me. That's the next, like getting an agent, TV credit of some kind. Cause then you can start.
Yeah.
You eventually want to start getting like, you want to eventually start getting like, be able to do like a one nighter, but then also have the following to bring people to.
Yeah.
Or like at least like, oh, I got this, I'm doing this random show. I'm doing a random club in the Midwest or some shit like that, and kind of stuff like that. Or sometimes you see your peers doing those things too, and it's like, I should be at this level as well.
Yeah.
I've been putting the work in. I need to put more to find like a foundation or like a circle of people to keep.
Oh yeah. Well, what's great about when you're represented, that person is looking at you in a way that you can't look at yourself because you're the performer, right? Yeah. They'll look at you and be like, you know what? We need to start giving you X, Y, and Z gigs.
Yeah.
This stuff you're doing is great.
Yeah.
Can keep you working, but you know what? Yeah. We're going to build you into this direction, and then it all starts running. Yeah. Because they're looking at you, for lack of a better term, as a product. Yeah. And it's like anything else. It's like anytime you try on clothes, you ask a woman if they look good. Yeah. You go, I think this looks great. And they go, no. Your agent will kind of sit there and be like, I'm doing all this. And they go, yeah, you should just do these ones. This is what looks good for you.
And then that sense of direction definitely does help too. Like it's kind of like I remember that was the one thing where I was like, oh shoot, I want to be considered really stand-up. I need to post more stand-up clips. Yeah. Even though my green screen funny stuff was taking off. And then I remember I kept seeing other green screen shit like taking off as well. I was like, I'm making the wrong decision. And I look back on this day, And then I've been doing a few little green screen stuff, and then especially topics that I know might get like a response. Yeah. Like, okay, let me do this one, especially like throwback stuff to like random stuff. Like, okay, like I did one about first day of school. We all
little gremlin,
the little gremlin one. Well, that's like, and then that one's doing well,
right?
But then I did another one about like teachers and like that kind of like, I was like, nobody care about the teacher. And then so I was like, okay, let me just keep doing topical stuff. Like the thing I should have did one on Curry and the Olympics. I feel like that would have did well.
Yeah.
But I just took too long to edit it and just kind of bring it up. But I was like, cause still tired, still. So I didn't have the time to do it. But yeah.
All right, man. I got my lady's bugging me about stuff we're supposed to do this evening. Yeah. So one more time.
Yeah.
Last dance, buddy.
Last dance, man.
It's been fun. Yeah. I want to say this is not something it sucks that I have to do this. Yeah. I do think it's the right move for me and what's going on with my folks, but please, someone come take my job.
Yeah.
Email the show, the Corde Snell Show @gmail.com. Keep this thing going. Even better, I guess, if you're in the LA area.
Yeah.
Eventually that's what's going to happen. Yeah. Or if you're willing to move to LA, that was something when we first spoke, I knew I was not going to be able to do.
Oh,
so,
right.
Yeah, so I was like, you're going to LA? I was like, all right, there is an end date on this.
Appreciate you so much, Jared.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Hell yeah. Because Jared was trying to get me to do this podcast, I think like 2021 or something.
Before I was ever doing stand-up.
Before he was even doing stand-up, I was like, hey, man, you cool, but like you too ambitious, man. He was too ambitious at the time. So this is dope. Sorry, it's like, got to move on. Got to find another great producer. So if
email the show, guys.
Email the show at the Corde Snell Show.com. It's Corde Snell Show @gmail.com.
I'll put it on the screen.
Yeah. If you want to become a producer. Also, did you get your hour of Corde this week? An hour of Corde, because Corde made your day. An hour of Corde keeps you laughing, keeps you from crying, keeps your mood overall better, keeps you just having a great week. And if you enjoy this show, please like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to my channel too, Corde Made Your Day. And if you like this clip, if you like this episode, please hit the like and subscribe button. And that's it. We're out.